Hello, thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing my battery solution for my dump trailer. So dump trailers kind of have an inherent problem in them, and that's that they're ran by a battery, a standalone battery, typically in a toolbox on the front of the dump trailer, not the truck's power. And so if that battery is old, if it doesn't keep a good charge, if it's not charging while you're driving, or doesn't have a tender on it, then you're gonna get one or two, maybe three dumps out of it, and then it's gonna be too dead. And so I've got a couple solutions that I've implemented. The one we're gonna focus on today is an inverter battery charger set up by a company called Perkeys, spelled like turkeys with a P, which I'll link to. It's not a super cheap product, but it does work. And if you're gonna be using your dump trailer back to back frequently, and don't want to hassle with hooking up to a real battery charger, then this is a really great solution for that. So I'll kind of dive right in and show you how the Perky system's installed, as well as kind of walk you through the light indicator that it has for it. So let's dig in. The Perky's unit is what looks to be like an aluminum gray steel case. Or it's either aluminum or steel. It kind of feels aluminum-y, but inside there is the inverter. So there's got 4 slats here for bolts, one on each side. And it's got a wiring pigtail on the bottom. And it's got 3 wires on it. You can mount it essentially anywhere. They give you about 2 to 3 feet of wire. I thought it would be, good there because road debris and stuff is not going to hit it. And, even though I think it'd be fine, also water's not really going to get on it because it's vertically mounted, even though I believe it's 100% water sealed. So the way it's wired is that there's 2 wires that come into the toolbox here that I ran. One's green, one's white. The white wire runs to the negative. The green wire actually runs to the battery on a fused 20 amp. And then the other wire that was on there, which goes to the power on the 7-pin, I have hooked up under here. This is not a permanent solution. I'm going to come back and solder this, but I just used one of those wire tap connectors and tapped it in. That was because I was actually testing to make sure it operates. So you'll need to find, usually it's red, but you'll need to find which wire on your 7-pin is the 12-volt auxiliary. You can do that by pulling up a 7-pin diagram for your particular vehicle application. In my case, the wires were, and this is a 2015 GMC Sierra and Duramax, and the little tab is on the bottom in this configuration. So the 12 volt for me was 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. One's negative, one's the ground, one's the positive. But connection between those was the 7-pin power. I know Dodge, or at least my neighbor's Dodge, this connector's flipped upside down. So when you pull a diagram for the 7-pin, make sure you're paying attention to which orientation this is. Also, make sure you're grabbing the female side orientation of the plug, because there are different diagrams for the male and the female side of the electrical plug. So that can confuse people sometimes as well. So another thing that's included in the Perky's kit is that this little light here. And so what this light does is it basically indicates your power status. So flashing green means that you have 12.4 volts or greater. If it flashes orange, which we can simulate by putting power down, that means that we're dropping below 12.4 volts. So you always have a visual indicator by looking back at the trailer, whether you're ready to go or whether you're not ready to go, which is pretty invaluable. It's been a real lifesaver. Typically I run loads back to back. I'll do it in the evenings or I'll do it on the weekends, and I'm running, loads back to back, and I don't have time to charge up the trailer. It's a pretty easy install. It's not cheap. I believe it was about 350 bucks or so. It works. I've never had a dead battery since, after having many problems before. So I'm really, really, really happy with it. It is pricey. It's peace of mind knowing that your dump trailer is going to function when you get to someone's house. In this particular trailer, the solenoid is power up, power down. So if you don't have power on this solenoid to lift the solenoid up, then when you come down by gravity, you're going to overflow this reservoir and you're going to leave transmission fluid in someone's driveway or wherever you're dumping, which happened to me once. And that's why I have this Purkeys battery charger now, because you cannot be leaving transmission fluid stains in customers' driveways. Not all trailers are like that, but this one is a power up, power down trailer. And so if you don't have the power to lift that solenoid, your trailer will come down, but it will not send the fluid to the proper location, and it will overflow the reservoir. So without relieving that solenoid. So this is really great. I'm going to start the truck up real quick. It'll take a few minutes for it to register the truck's power, which is totally fine. You'll see it pop up solid green here soon. And it could take 30 seconds to 30 seconds to a minute or so, I have found. But it will go solid green, and solid green means that it's got the 30 amp from the truck, the inverter's operating, and the inverter is charging the battery. And Perky says that they charge, there it goes. And Perky says that they charge the battery in 10 to 12 minutes from a single dump. So once you make a dump, their system will charge up the battery back up to full status in 10 to 12 minutes. And I have found that to be true. To be honest, one of the best things I've purchased for this. And so that is, a really good overview of the Perky system, what it is, how it installs, kind of firsthand on how it works. One other thing that I would highly recommend is that you get yourself a solar powered battery tender. So as you can see on the top of here, I have the largest battery tender I could physically fit on this toolbox without an overhang. And this is hooked up with those alligator clamp, and all this does is take sunlight and do a slow trickle of the battery. That allows me, if the trailer would be sitting for an extended period of time, I know the battery's charged. I have one on my Kubota tractor, have one mounted on my skid loader. They are invaluable, not that expensive. You can even get them from Harbor Freight. I really like the battery tender brand, but I don't want to take too much of this video to talk about that, but it's something that you need to highly consider. That pretty much wraps up the entire video here. Like I said, green light means it's solid charging. So we're getting input, battery's being charged, and I know that when I go and need to dump this, it's gonna dump, and it's gonna completely operate, and I'm not gonna be dropping transmission fluid in a customer's driveway, which is a lot of peace of mind. So if you have any questions, leave a comment, and we are happy to answer them. I couldn't find many videos about this system, so I wanted to definitely, put something out there about this. One thing that I wanted to add is that I highly recommend when you get to your area where you're going to dump, you take this 7-pin and you unplug it before you dump. What that does is make sure that you don't draw any truck power when you're doing this. I've actually blown the fuse in my truck because it was trying to draw too much power because I was running the pump. So from now on, I always disconnect the 7-pin when I get to my destination, and I'll get back up before I leave my destination. So if you do that, you will probably never have a blown fuse. Your battery will always be charged. So just wanted to add that in there because that is super, super important. Okay, so that wraps up our video on the dump trailer battery solutions. My biggest thing is the Perky system and also a battery tender for the top of the toolbox. Those things together, I have never had a problem with losing power, and it's been really great. Keep watching for our videos. We do a lot of solutions to problems that we have found when we're doing things around the farm, and I haul dirt kind of as part of that. So this is something that I have experienced firsthand, a dead trailer battery. So subscribe, and we will continue bringing more videos. Thanks.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow